Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. Not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from the Daily Wire. Here we go. Mad Maxine Waters again. Mad Max, for those of you who remember the old Mad Max movies. They made more sense than this woman, but let's read on. COVID-19. Maxine Waters says, we're moving towards a mandate. We're going to have to be dedicated to the proposition that we're going to get everybody vaccinated. It's, I don't know why this is a controversial issue. In all fairness, there's a lot of people, and I'm sure YouTube algorithm will just kill me since I'm so badly shadow banned now, that simply can't do it. Now, for a long time, I couldn't get the vaccine. Now, whether I'm vaccinated or not isn't anybody's business, only mine. But whether I am or not is immaterial. For a long time, I couldn't for several weeks because earlier in the year, just before I sold my business, some asshat's dog I was standing in front of my store bit me and then took off. So I had to go through a series of shots, and I mean a series of tons of shots for rabies. And I couldn't get it for several weeks after that. And they made clear to me not to get it. Made to emphasize the point strongly. So there's a lot of people out there that can't, either temporarily or permanently. Okay. Let's read on. U.S. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, a Democrat from California, recently told a Los Angeles television station that the nationwide increase in COVID-19 transmission could result in some form of a vaccination requirement intended to save lives. What the hell does some form mean in English? That's the problem. They speak in such generalities. During an interview with Fox 11 News anchor Alex Michelson on Thursday, Waters said that her vaccinations were needed to curb the spread. Michelson spoke to the Congresswoman at a fundraiser he was emceeing, at which Waters served as a featured speaker. Who the hell would invite Maxine Waters as a featured speaker? She's about as articulate as a rock. Unbelievable. What the hell would she have to speak about? I will give her this, though. When somebody, as Tucker Carlson mentioned, the lowest IQ in Congress, she's done amazingly well for herself. Multi-millionaire, lives in a multi-million-dollar house. God knows how much money her family and her have stashed away. You know what, though? I got to give her that. And these people hate this country? Only in America could somebody with as low as IQ as her could be successful. I think we're moving towards a mandate. This is very dangerous, said Waters, and I think we're finding that people are dying and younger people are being attacked by this virus. That's why. Yeah, a lot of them might test positive, but it's a tiny, 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 tiny percent that's under 35 that have either been hospitalized or died. So I think we're going to have to be very careful. We're going to have to be dedicated to the proposition that we're going to get everybody vaccinated, and that we're going to stop what I think would be a lot of deaths that would take place without doing it. And here's the, we'll read
The big debate right now seems to be about whether vaccines should be mandated or not. Do you think that there should be a vaccine mandate?
I think we're moving toward a mandate. This is very dangerous, and I think we're finding that people are dying and younger people are being attacked by this virus. And so I think we're going to have to be very careful. We're going to have to be dedicated to the proposition that we're going to get everybody vaccinated, and that we're going to stop what I think could be a lot of deaths that would take place without doing it.
What does a man...
Now, it's funny. Maybe she's not as dumb as I thought when she said about the young people. Here's the quote now, and I think we're finding that young people are dying and younger people are being attacked by the virus. You know, maybe she's not so dumb as I thought. Maybe she's only dumb when it's to her advantage, because she didn't say hospitalized or died. And here's the thing. Unless somebody can show me or put a link in the comments, I haven't seen this new so-called Delta variant, India variant, who the hell knows. I haven't seen the percentages of people that have tested positive and been hospitalized, number one, and number two, have died. I haven't seen any of those. And if people are just catching it without going to the hospital and without dying, it's just a natural course of a virus in the natural world. I mean, I'm not trying to be flippant when I say this, but viruses have been going on for millennia. And it's hit animal kingdom. It's hit humans. I think in the old days, and basically a couple thousand years ago, they thought it was witchcraft or some nonsense when people got sick really quick. And those that just worshiped the devil were the ones that died and all that nonsense. I mean, look what happened. Look up the bubonic plague in Europe. I believe it was in 12 or 1300s, but I'm not sure. Wiped out a good quarter of the population. I mean, 1 in 4. Now, the twisted part is the last time we had a huge pandemic here in the United States was towards the end of World War I, and just after World War I, when it was brought, they believe, from soldiers overseas. I think it originally started in the U.S. in the Midwest in Kansas at a military base, but don't quote me. Now, here's the twisted part of this virus in the early 20th century. It didn't kill the weak. It killed the strong. What it did was it made your immune system go into overdrive. So if your immune system was weakened, you were fine, or most of them were fine. If you were younger and in very good health and your immune system was good, you died. Man, talk about twisted. It's just the reverse of now, where the people that are older account for like 98% of the deaths, and the rest are pre-existing conditions, i.e. obese, diabetic, cancer. I mean, the list is endless. So these variants come around. Now, that came around naturally. I'm convinced, and not just me, people a lot smarter than myself are convinced that this was manipulated and it got out. And I don't think it got out on purpose. I'm not a tinfoil hat guy. They let it out to destroy the world economy and, not at all. I think somebody effed up and it got out. And they kept it hidden for a while. And as it spread around the world, they couldn't hide it anymore. And then they began their PR work. When I say they, I mean the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. I actually believe that. And I'm really surprised that Maxine Waters would do such an interview and be so decent. It's funny. Fox 11 asked her a legit question. She gave a legit answer. So these people are chameleons. She's with a crowd of people that wants to hear, burn down the system. That's what she does. If she's with a crowd of people that are more moderate, she acts differently. It's amazing to me. It's the typical, atypical, slippery politician. So maybe she's smarter than I had thought. Should vaccines be mandated? I really don't know. I don't know how we get around the Constitution. Are we talking about morally here or legally? I don't know the answer. I really don't. My gut always sides with the rights of individuals. Now, here's the thing, and here's the difference, and I'll leave this last point. The difference between people like Maxine Waters, of course, she's just a slippery politician. I'm talking about Democrats, progressives, and conservative people. The difference is Democrats and progressives and leftists believe that human rights are given by government. Conservative people, and many Republicans, believe that these rights are given to us by God and it cannot be taken away. Rights are self-evident. Yeah, they are self-evident. And that's the difference. They think government is the ultimate power. Conservative people think that the individuals are the ultimate power. And all their rights are inherent, just being human. And you can't lose them. How do you cross that bridge? How do you cross that huge divide between government is the answer to everything and government is very rarely the answer to everything? It's to stay out of people's lives as much as possible. And that, my friends, has been the question from the beginning of the country almost, but mostly in the last century, 20th century, and now early 21st century. We're going to have to see how it comes out. People are going to die, and it's sad, and it sucks. 3-year-olds get cancer. I just saw an article where a woman was coming home from her wedding reception and was killed in a car accident. I mean, these horrible things happen. And it makes you sad. But viruses in nature have been decimating populations of animals and humans for millennia. Can we as humans, with our technology, help that? Sure. But at the same time, are we hurting humans in the long run that pass on immunities? Think about this for a minute. When the Europeans came to the so-called New World in the Western Hemisphere, the New World of the Europeans, and if they had gotten along and there was no killing of Native Americans, we'll say in the current United States, Central or South America, none at all. Everybody got along, sat around the campfire and sang songs. Archaeologists estimate, and biologists and biologists estimate that 80-90% of the Native American populations would have died anyway. Why? Because they had no immunity to the diseases brought by the white Europeans. So even if there wasn't a so-called genocide, which didn't happen, yes, the 20% that were left in the next 2 centuries, yeah. That's why there was so much empty land. The white Europeans just settled in it because it was empty. The tribes were slaughtered, but by a virus, by an illness, not by weapons, not by people wanting to kill them. They didn't have the immunities. They were never exposed. And the people before them were never exposed. And these immunities were never passed down. So by making everyone, I mean, there's an episode in House, the old TV show, where he rattles on, the character that plays House, about the fact that we have hand sanitizers everywhere and we have this and we have that and we don't expose people to anything. And these super bugs, these super viruses who mutate on their own to survive and overcome our obstacles, i.e. cleanliness, hand sanitizer, all those things. And they get stronger and stronger. I don't know what the answer is, but my gut tells me that mandatory vaccination by law is not the answer. Maybe if the CDC and all the talking heads didn't say 18 different things on 17 different days and go back and forth and nobody can figure out what the hell they're talking about. And then these news media sites that put an article up, they find out later is totally inaccurate and wrong and leave them up and put the total opposite on their websites the next week. Maybe if people could sit down and really see the real facts, not the twisted truth, maybe they could make a better decision. Unbelievable. Anyway, folks, there's a piece of our world. I believe Ronald Cronkite used to say that in the old days. You older people remember him. There's a piece of our world. Is that or Dan Rather? I forget which one. Anyway, until next time, goodbye and good luck.